Hey everyone, this is Changing Mixed Numbers and Improper Fractions, Hutch Lesson 2 for Week 3. Here we go. I'm going to keep this as simple as possible and as straightforward as possible for you. At this point, you should have this Changing Mixed Numbers document on your Explain Everything. Make sure that you're on that page ready to go. All right, now, we know that a mixed number is having wholes and a fraction. Okay, a whole number and a fraction. And a whole number is it's representing a fraction, like 2 over 2, or 3 over 3, or even 1 over 1. So we have these whole numbers that are representing a fraction. Okay? And then we have the leftovers, which are the fractional pieces. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at number 1. Number 1 says that we have 2 wholes and we have a leftover of 6/9. Okay, now what I'm going to have you do later on, you won't have to do this. You're going to just be able to do that mental math, and maybe you can a little bit now, and that's great and awesome, but this is an expectation. It is a non-negotiable. I want you to do this. I want you to show that you get what a whole number is by decomposing it into its fractional wholes. Here's the process with this. I want you to take this 2 wholes right here, and what you're going to do is you're going to draw 2 little bonds, like little line bonds like we did with the number bonds before, off of this hole, this 2 holes. Now, with each of these, you have to know what a hole is, okay? So in this one, a hole, because I look at the denominator, a hole is, it's out of 9, so that means a hole is 9/9, okay? You have to know what a hole is, because a hole, guess what, changes every single problem that we're going to be looking at today. So let's take a look, actually, before we even get into number 1, let's do a rapid fire, name that hole. I think I need my microphone. It's a very manly microphone. See, it's a pink princess microphone. Every
really manly man needs to have a pink princess microphone. So
that way you can name that hole. What is a hole? All right, back to this. Goodbye, microphone. All right. So a hole in this 6/9 is 9/9. Okay? Let's do a little bit of some rapid fire stuff here. So number 1, we have 9/9. What do we have for number 2? Name that hole. It's 8/8. Let's see how fast you can do this. So let's do 3, 4, and then 5. So ready? Here we go. So what is a hole for number 3? If you say 2 halves, you're right. It's not 2 tooths. Number 4, what is a hole? 3/3. Number 5, what is a hole? 12/12. So you have to know that. Let's see if you can beat me with these ones. So right, I'm going to do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're going to name that hole, but we're going to do it as a race. So you have to see if you can name them in that order faster than me. Ready? Set. Go. 4/4, 6/6, 6/6, 7/7, 3/3, 2 halves. Did you beat me? I hope you did, because you're pretty awesome. All right, now let's go officially to number 1. So I need you to understand what a hole is. A hole is 9/9. So we're going to decompose that whole number as a number bond and pull out those holes. Okay. So what we're going to do is underneath, we're going to write 9/9 and 9/9. We're going to show that that whole number, that number 2, is actually a 9/9 and a 9/9. Okay? All right, now that you can see that we have 9/9, 9/9, and 6/9, all we have to do is add them all up to create our improper fraction, which is what our directions are today. All right, so I also do want you to start being aware, wait, I have 2 of the 9/9. Just so you know and are clear, that's like saying I have 2 of, remember, of is multiply, of the 9/9, which equals 18/9. So I just want you to be aware of that. That's what multiplying by a whole number means. When I have 2 of those, it means I have 18/9. Notice I didn't do anything with that denominator. I'm just adding up how many ninths I have of that size piece. All right, so this is 18/9 plus the 6, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So my improper fraction is that I have 24/9. That's what we're doing. Okay, let's just do this process a couple more times. If you understand, and you know you understand, then you could obviously pause and try the next one on your own and then hit play and see if you got it right. So do what you want to do with that. I'm going to go ahead and do number 2 and number 3 with you right now. So if you want to do 2 and 3 on your own and then check, go for it. All right, moving on to number 2. Number 2 here says 3 wholes and what's the leftover? 3/8. So name that whole 8/8. So I'm going to pull the 8/8 out of these. But how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3 holes in here. So you have to pull out 3 little lines. You have to do that. Okay, so what is a hole? A hole is 8/8, 8/8, and 8/8. So that's how you're showing that. Now all I have to do is add up how many 8s we are, and we've got our improper fraction. Now, I can do, 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 3, and find out how many 8s that is. Or if I want to think that next higher level up way of doing it, I can say, I have 3 of the 8/8, which equals 3 times 8 is 24/8. So I can be thinking that mathematical way of doing it instead, but I still need to add that extra 3/8 on there so I know that overall, 24, 25, 26, I have 27/8. So this is how you can be doing this. Okay, on to number 3. I have 4 holes, but what is a hole? Name that hole. Yes. 2/2 or 2 halves, not 2 tooths. How many of them do I have? I have 4 of them. So let's pull them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 2/2. You're going to have to zoom in to do this on yours, so it's nice and neat, please. 2/2 and 2/2. Okay, so I pulled out all my holes, and now I can go ahead and calculate the total halves for this improper fraction. And again, if you can just do it like that, that's fine. You don't need to do that multiplication by a whole number work on the bottom. But I'm going to go ahead and just represent that. So I have 4 of, remember, of means times, 4 of the 2 halves. 4 times 2 equals 8 halves, plus the extra half gets me 9 halves. Okay? And so you can see an improper fraction. I definitely have more than a whole. I have more than 2/2. All right. What I'd like you to do is you can pause this and then go ahead and finish this page. But I'm going to go ahead and go directly to the next page, which is doing the opposite. Okay? Over to here. So now we're going to take the improper fraction and go backwards, and we're going to make it into a mixed number. And this is done all with some good quality mental math. But again, you have to know what a whole is. So let's look at number 12. Number 12 says 22/9. So again, get my manly microphone out. Name that whole. What is a whole? A whole is 9/9. So you have to know what a whole is for this to work. Okay? So let's do that rapid fire you versus me again. But let's do this one first slower. So we have 37ths, what's a whole? A whole is since it's out of 7 in the denominator, a whole is 7/7. I definitely have more than a whole in here. Okay, the question is how many. All right, ready? Let's do the rapid version. Okay, you can race me. Let's go ahead and do these ones right here. We'll do 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, and you can race. So name that whole. Ready, set. You got to try to beat me. Go. 4/4, 4/4, 5/5, 2/2, 9/9, 3/3, 7/7, 3/3, 8/8, 4/4. I hope you beat me because I went slow. If you didn't, though, that's okay too. It's your first time doing that. All right, now let's go ahead and start actually solving some of these, and then you'll be able to work on them on your own and do what you need to do. All right, so in order to take the improper fraction now and reverse it back into a mixed number, we need to identify how many wholes there are. Okay, so technically, I do want you to understand fractions is just division. That line there is a division symbol. So this is 22 divided by 9. If you literally set it up and did 22 divided by 9, it's going to tell you how many wholes and how many left over or remaining. Just so you're aware of that, that's what fractions are. They're just a division problem. And it'll actually solve it for you, which is pretty neat. But I think you can just do some mental math work even quicker. So if we know a whole is 9/9, then for this one, all I have to do is use my fingers and count how many wholes there are. But you have to be able to count by multiples of 9. So I'm going to go 9, that's one whole, 9/9. 18/9, that's 2 wholes. And then I know that I can't do another 9. 9, 18, I know I can't do 27 because I only have 22/9. So 9, 18, so that's 2 wholes. So right away I write down my 2 wholes, but look how I write them. I write the big 2, and it's the same size as the actual fractions. Then I just show what my leftovers or my remainder is. So 9, 18, there's my 2 wholes, and then I just count my extra, 19, 20, 21. So 3 on the numerator, and the size is still the same. So we have 3/9. So that's what this looks like, 2 and 3/9, and there we go. All right, on to number 13. I have 30/7. How many sevenths is that as wholes? Okay, so name that whole. A whole is 7/7. How many 7/7 do I have? I need to figure out my whole number. So I have 7/7, 14/7. I can keep going. 3 times 7, 21. I have 21/7. Can I go again? 4 times 7 is 28. Oh, I can. So 7, 14, 21, 28. I can't go again. So there's my 4 wholes. I'm going to write my big 4 here. And how much extra? Remember, I was at 4 times 7 is 28, 29, 30. 2 extras, or 2 remaining. And what's the size of the pieces? This didn't change. They are still 7th size pieces. Okay? All right, that is the process. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do 14, 15, and 16. But if you want to pause and then do those 3 problems and then come back and check and see how you did, it's a good way for you to sort of release a little bit of responsibility to yourself and then check if you were right. And if you're wrong, you can do some error analysis and go, oh, I see how I'm thinking incorrectly. All right, so go ahead and pause, go do this independently, then come back and check your work for these next 3 problems. I'm going to continue in 5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, hopefully you've got those done, and now you're back. Or you're doing them with me, and that's okay too. Number 14, let's look at this together. I have 9/4. Name that whole. When I say name that whole, I want you to, in your head or out loud, to say 4/4. So I'm going to pull out the 4/4. How many 4/4 do I have? Let's count it. So 4/4, 8/4. I can't go another one. So 2 holes. And how many are left over? 1 for the 9/4. So here we go. So we have 2 1/4. Over to 15. Okay. Name that whole 5/5. How many 5/5 do I have? 5/5. I can't go to 10/5. I only have 7 of them. So 1 hole, that's 5/5. And how much extra? 6/5, 7/5. 2 extra. Okay, or 2 remaining. And the size of the piece is still the same. It's still fifths. All right, and number 16. I have 9 halves. Name that whole. What is it? 2 halves. All right, so how many holes, how many 2 halves do I have? Okay, 2 halves. These are counting my holes. 2 halves, 4, 6, 8. Notice how I stopped saying halves. I know that they're there, but it's just easier to count. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 4 holes. And how much extra? I was at 8, so 1 more extra. And there we go. Okay, so 4 and 1/2. All right. Now I want you to go ahead and try these ones independently, 17 through 22, and then you're going to back this one out and the other one, and you're going to send these to me. Actually, when I give them to you, I'll put them side by side like this. So you'll have one right here, and page 1 here, and page 2 here. So when you're working on things, you can just zoom in and work on them, and then you'll be able to screenshot page 1 and page 2 all at once and just go and screenshot the whole thing for me. Once you get those screenshotted, send them to your Hutch Math activities portfolio, and keep an eye out, though, later I might send that back to you as a draft with some fixes to make. So always check. Don't assume, ooh, I turned them in, I'm all done, I don't have to look at it anymore. There may be cases where I send it back to you as a draft and you'll need to make some revisions by clicking continue editing and things like that. All right, reach out if you need help. I'm happy to Zoom with you and have some like small group or one-on-one where I just talk to you about things and help you out with things. So please ask for help. Do not ever get frustrated about this. It's a unique situation and I'm here to help you. All right, great job today. Have an awesome day. Bye.